Anyways, let's talk a little Cubbies here. Let's get started. So I want you guys to talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Why can't the Cubs hit?
Andy, I'll let you start.
I'd like to think that first game had a lot to do with the cold. Because I mean, Tony, you were there. I was cold, man. I was really, really cold. And I wasn't playing. Like, I can only imagine what it was like for the Cubs playing in like 30, 35 degree weather. I mean, I think that's a big contributing factor, but yeah, I don't know. It's I guess it's a lot different going from 80 and sunny to 35 and sunny.
Yeah, I think honestly, to me, yes, it was a loss, and they're 0-1 on the season, and they only got 2 hits. But I actually think there were some like really interesting positive takeaways from the offense because they scored 3 runs off of, well, again, only 2 hits, but off of productive outs, and that's just something we haven't seen enough of from this team and this lineup in the last few years. They weren't like hitting situationally and getting the runner home from third with less than 2 outs. So the fact that they did that, I mean, they're going to hit. All these guys have all-stars and track records and amazing, back of the baseball cards and everything else that David Ross always points to. But the fact that they scored 3 times without a hit, with all unproductive outs, I think that's something that can carry over and actually like speak well to the future.
Time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. And now, the starting lineup for your Chicago Bulls. The 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, and the touchdown.
We're back in the saddle again for week 6 of the Shy Sports Weekly podcast. Back with our boys, Ty and Kyle. Guys, how we doing?
We're doing. How's everybody doing here, Ty?
Happy Easter Sunday, first of all.
Happy Easter to you.
Christ
guys.
has risen.
He is risen.
Jesus.
I was
Christ.
not risen. I was planted on my ass today. I ate so much food.
Were you hungover?
A little.
Yeah. You know what's been nice since I've got COVID? I haven't had any alcohol in 2 weeks here.
Really?
Honestly, don't feel terrible.
That first beer buzz when you get back is going to be nice.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna be buzzing hard. Off of like 2 Coors Lights.
How are you feeling, by the way, though? Are you good?
Oh man, compared to last week, I'm honestly got 100 times better.
Good.
Last week, it felt like I had like blow torches up my nostrils.
We need all our boys on the show at 100%. We can't have anyone operating at any less.
My Jordan flu game.
Last week was a flu game. The John Scott episode.
The John Scott episode was a flu game, yeah. But this week we have 2 great guests, a recurring guest, Andy Martinez from Marquee Sports Network. You all know and love him. He's handing out losing picks again, not a big deal. And his colleague, Tony Andracki from Marquee, beat writer, formerly with NBC Sports Chicago. He's been covering the Cubs for, I think he said on and off for 10 years, but consistently here for the last 6. Great insight on the Cubs. Real fun interview.
Yeah, we got some great content out of them with the Cubs for sure. They were talking circles around me and Kyle about the Cubs. It was.
I was going to say those 2 are so knowledgeable with what's going on.
Right.
with the Cubs. I thought I knew a lot. Probably not a good topic to bring up right now, considering we're hosting a podcast. But those 2 are fucking smart.
Right. It was great. It was great talking to them. I was trying to nudge them a little bit about the Nico Horner. What do you call it? The
service time issue.
The service time agreement situation, but they wouldn't budge.
There's nothing to budge on. They were right. You idiot. We got a big week here. We got a lot to talk about.
We do. Did you watch the Cubs today?
Come on.
Big dub. Why am I sold on Zach Davies?
Oh my God.
That changeup was filthy.
Oh my God. At one point, I think JD said I think Marquee tweeted it out. It said, befuddled or baffled, bewildered, and befuddled. Bewildered, not bewildered.
Yeah. I was not giving him enough credit heading into this season.
Oh man, he looked good. Yeah, I mean that home run he gave up to Kyle Moran, I think you could say that's somewhat wind-aided. But still, nonetheless, I thought that had changed up. It was like a goddamn wiffle ball.
Wiffle ball. It looked like Hendricks Jr. out there.
Which makes me so I'm watching the Sox here with Ohtani, and Ohtani's just shoving it right up their hoop. And he's throwing 101, right?
Yeah.
I think Davies today topped out at like 88.
I mean, shit, you go 5 2/3 and you give up 2 runs. You could throw 78 for all I care.
You know what? Just get outs. That's what and that's something Tony and Andy were saying. Rossi doesn't give a shit how hard you throw. Just get some goddamn outs. And you know what? I don't care either. Get some goddamn outs. I love it. Cubs are 2-1. Sox are, as of this recording, they're down 3-0, looking to fall to 1-3.
Yeah, they would drop 3 or 4 to the Angels, right?
Yeah. Did you watch any of the Sox game last night on Tuesday or Saturday? Jesus Christ.
Saturday. No, but I saw the Friday night game. That game was a slugfest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jose Abreu, Jesus Christ, dropped his big old balls.
They can put up runs in a hurry.
Yeah. He's good.
Hey, this is one of the only years that I can remember in a long time where I would actually turn on a Sox game as a diehard Cubs fan and enjoy watching it. So I've thought to myself, hey, I might turn the Sox on and watch.
This is the fourth game for them. I've watched every single pitch for the Cubs and Sox this year.
Yeah. I mean, their lineup is it's one of the best in the MLB.
Yeah, Tim Anderson actually left today's game with a hamstring. So
did he? I didn't know. I didn't see that.
Yeah, some stuff you don't see when you're stuck on 290 for an accident in traffic.
But their best hitter is Yerman Mercedes.
Oh, he looked terrible against Ohtani today. Ohtani threw him 3 straight sliders, and on the third one, holy shit!
It doesn't matter because he's in the record books forever now.
No, he looked terrible.
8 consecutive hits in his first 8 at bats of the season.
Yeah, that is pretty impressive.
Most consecutive by any player to start a season since 1900.
Is that good?
So literally ever, basically.
Is that good? That seems good.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
I just feel like the Cubs never find a guy like him, but like you said, he looked pretty bad today, apparently.
What do you mean? Junior Lake was hot as shit when he started.
Bobby Scales.
Well, Soler was tearing it up. Starlin.
Yeah. We always go back to Starlin, and I'm okay with that.
We could always go back to Starlin.
Should we get into some tweets before we keep going on about the Cubs and Sox?
Yeah, of course we can. Big week here. So we'll give you a preview of a little bit of everything we're going over. Everything from Cutler, the Fukudome, Kosuke Fukudome, Sammy, Rizzo, the Bulls, the Hawks, they stink. So let's get
they really do. I think they dropped 9 of their last 12 now. I was going to ask you. I was going to save it for later, but I'll just ask now. Are the Hawks dead?
What do you call someone that doesn't have a pulse?
Dead.
Yeah. They are. Yeah, it's like weekend at Bernie's for them right now. They're done Zaloni.
I don't know how many games do they have left. 15 more?
I'm not sure. They're playing 56 on the season. I don't know what their record is off the top of my head. I was
right around there, but dropping those last 3 games in a row to the Preds was not good.
It's like their kryptonite. It's crazy. Like they'll tear up who is it? Columbus, Detroit. They've played well against Dallas, and those actually are the 3 teams that are below them, so that makes sense. But Tampa, Carolina, Nashville, and the Panthers, man, they just can't get anything going against them. It's tough sledding for our Hawks. They just traded for local boy Vinnie Hinostroza.
Vinnie Hinostroza, huh?
Yeah, you know anything about him? Tell me one thing about Vinny.
Have I told you this story before?
Yeah, but I forgot it. What is it?
So he went to Bartlett High School.
Okay.
And somehow he was on the freshman B football team. And I'm playing free safety for some stupid reason.
6'3", 140.
And yeah, exactly. Soaking wet. And I'm running across the field, like just running to the sideline, trying to make a tackle. Not paying attention to my blinders. and I just get absolutely fucking clobbered, just hit in the shoulder pads, and my feet were above my head. I think I landed on my helmet on the ground.
You were trying to eat your own ass.
Yeah, something like that. So I literally like lay over. I felt like one of those dudes that just got whacked in the longest yard, has no idea where I'm at. And then one of my buddies like comes over to help me up. He's like, dude, you just got fucking whacked by Vinnie.
You just got knocked the fuck out.
And it was Vinnie Hinostroza.
Guy's on the Hawks.
Now he's on the Hawks. Now I'm
Yeah.
here in this chair.
Yeah, now look at us. Who's the real winner, Vinny?
It all comes full circle.
Yeah, but so he's back. Hawks suck. We don't have to talk about the Hawks because they're honestly they're too depressing for me. We want to keep the mood light and happy here. It's fucking Easter. Come on.
Yeah, let's pass on that for now. Last thing I'll say, though, is I saw that Stan Bowman got named U.S. Olympic Team GM.
Yeah, he is. But fuck, how hard of a job is that? Put Patrick Kane, Jack Eichel, Austin Matthews. There's your top line. There you go. I could be the GM.
Right, but why Bowman? Guy's got shirts with a clown nose on his face.
He's also got 3 cups.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
I think Billy Guerin from the Wild is the assistant GM. He's a good guy. He's smart.
What's your take on Bowman?
Stan?
Stan Bowman.
I don't like him. The reason I don't like him is the Seabrook contract. In 2015, he signed Seabrook to that 8-year. I don't even know the math. If it's like 8 by 8, was it 64? 8 by 7, 56, something like that. He signed Seabrook to that contract. He was probably the only GM at that time that was going to sign an aging defenseman to that type of contract, which hindered the Hawks and prohibited them from making other moves moving forward.
Yeah.
Now,
So you're not pissed at Seabrook. You're pissed at Stan.
How can you ever be pissed at a guy for taking money? If somebody's offering you that money, yeah, hey, fuckhead. Yeah,
I don't want it.
I'll take the $56 million. Thanks for coming. Like what?
Right.
I'm not gonna. Hey, I'm not gonna not take $56 million.
That's got me thinking about Rizzo now.
Uh-oh. You want to transition into Anthony?
We could. Let's do that for a sec.
Okay.
We'll get to the
Fuck
tweets.
Anthony.
Just hold on. I know all you listeners are chomping at the bit to hear us talk about tweets from last week, but this is important. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen with him? Do you think that they're just going to let this season play out?
I will bet my life. Tell me something that I should bet. I will bet anything that Anthony Rizzo will be a Chicago Cub in 2022.
Yeah.
And beyond.
That's kind of how Chad was making it sound in that press conference too.
There's 0% chance he leaves. 0.
That makes me feel a lot better. My Sunday scaries just took at least 3 steps down.
I don't know if you could say it's intuition or we have the same birthday or whatever you want to say, but there's a 0% chance if he gets traded somehow at the deadline or if he signs with a different team in the offseason, I'll get his face tattooed on my ass and his honor for being the captain of the Chicago Cubs. I would be the most.
Seems like you were probably going to do that at some point in your life anyways.
I'm just looking for an excuse, to be honest, for that. There's no way he leaves. How could you let him walk?
Right.
He's the heart and soul.
At first I was pissed, but then I was kind of thinking about it today. I guess it makes sense to at least let him play this season out, see what he does, and then use that as kind of a negotiation term from there.
Yeah, but I almost in turn hope he just fucking.
So do I. I hope he hits 330.
I mean, realistically, so who are the 4, right? The 4 that are free agents after this year? It's Javi, KB, Wilson, and Rizzo, right? Yep. They're not re-signing all of them.
No, you're hoping to keep 2, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take shit. I don't know. It's Rizzo, and then it's between Javi and Wilson for me.
Do you think so? KB's not even on that list for you?
I mean, I don't know how I can say like Chris Bryant. I don't want to re-sign Chris Bryant. Even that sentence, I'm mad. I'm upset with myself for saying that. But at the same time, there's too many mouths to feed.
It's hard to say it after last season. I'm still on the KB bounce back train, as I mentioned in our interview with Tony and Andy. I think I've been saying it for a while now, but
They were tweeting a lot today. It's KB bounce back season.
Yeah.
Both of them were. Yeah, KB looked
And I
good
didn't
today.
get one mention for that.
No, not one mention.
None.
But you don't know how to use Twitter either, so that's
We're gonna have to talk to them.
probably why. What's your Twitter handle again?
It's at maxb_11.
There he is, at maxb_11. If anybody tweets at him, he'll give you $10 via the Cash App.
Yeah.
To be presenting sponsor of.
Don't wait on it though.
Don't wait on it, man. Hey, maybe if Gonzaga covers money line and Baylor is plus 4.5. You want to tell them
Watch that hit tomorrow too.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I said watch that hit tomorrow too. After I don't put it in.
Tell them what you texted me earlier.
So yeah, this morning woke up on Easter Sunday and I was feeling dangerous. I texted Kyle and I was like, "Hey, can you put a couple bets in for me?" Because I don't have an account because God knows that I'm terrified of what would happen if I did. So I text Kyle. He's like, "Yeah, sure." And then I tell him, "All right, give me Baylor plus 4.5 and give me Gonzaga money line." So basically, I was saying that Gonzaga was going to win the game by less than 5 points.
Between 1 and 4 points, which I guess, I mean, I have to like write it out to put it in my brain to see how that would work. So if Gonzaga wins, say it's minus 140, you obviously get that 100.
Yeah.
I mean, you're basically risking like $25 to get, or $25 to $40 to get like 200.
200. Yeah, exactly.
I think that's what the money line is, at least for.
That's what my thoughts were at first. And then you texted me and really just laid it out in a text and told me exactly what I needed to do to win. And I chickened out.
Yeah, no, that's on me. I shouldn't have said anything. I should have just let you write it out and get your.
But there's still time.
There is still time.
In fact, maybe you should just put it in right now.
No, I don't have any credit.
You say that a little louder.
No. Let's move on.
All right, on to the tweets.
Let's go in chronological order here, for fuck's sake.
You lead the way.
March 29th, 1992. Does that ring a bell? None of us were around for that.
Didn't ring anything for me.
Ty, are you a 94 guy?
I'm a 94 guy, a young
You guys are
buck.
both May 94, right?
Yeah, Max
2 weeks
is like
apart, you
2
two.
weeks older.
Yeah, me and Psalm
Yeah. you guys
came
are
onto the scene probably 3 weeks apart?
Yeah, what are you, 4th?
May 4th.
Yeah, on the 20th, 16 days.
May the 4th be with you.
Uh-oh. Max is horny.
No, I fucking hate Star Wars.
Anyways, March 29th, 1992. Do you know what happened that day?
I do know what happened because I posted about it on Instagram, I believe.
The Cubs landed a Dominican right fielder by the name of Sammy Sosa in a trade with the White Sox from George Bell. Some would say that turned out to be highway robbery.
That's what I would say.
Some would say that.
Because I will say this, my Cubs memory bank is full of Sammy Sosa memories.
It is. I can collaborate with that, yeah.
So to start it off, I'm just going to say it's fucking bullshit that they're not welcoming him with open arms back to Wrigley Field.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know too much on why they actually aren't.
I don't get it either. Like, is it the steroid thing and they're thinking it'd be a stain on the franchise or what?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. If I were a guessing man, I would say that, but fuck, I let everybody use steroids.
Let me just read off a couple stats to you and
hold on, let me get the Jergens.
you're not gonna need it. You could dry rub on this one.
Okay.
From 98 to 2001, Sammy hit 66, 63, 50, and 64 home runs. That's ridiculous. I don't care if you're juicing or not. And then I think after 01, I think in 02 he had like 49.
Say those numbers again for me. Hold on.
Literally 66, 63, 50, 64, and 49. Like half of his career home runs were in those 5 seasons.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's nuts. He won the MVP in 98. hit 308 with a 455 OBP, 2 home runs and 6 RBIs in that 03 NLCS against the Marlins. Like, this guy was just an absolute. He is a Cub legend. I will go out. I'm willing to say that Sammy Sosa is a Cub legend.
Are you kidding me? Number 21, Jason Marquee, probably the most famous number 21 in Cubs history. And another Sammy, we'll stick on Sammy Sosa here. Another Sammy highlight from this week happened actually the day that we're recording today, April 4th, 2003. Sammy Sosa, 500 home runs.
500 with the Cubs too.
545 with the Cubbies.
500 Cub, 500 club, 500 Cub.
The best, the best part of it, Old Takes Exposed was getting tagged in this tweet. Chip Carey says he cements his Hall of Fame legacy with that home run.
Right. Punches his ticket to Cooperstown or something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines. I don't know. What time is it here? 9:40 2021. So that's 18 years later, right?
Did not age well.
I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame yet.
Is he even on the ballot anymore?
Yeah, he is.
He's probably only got a couple of years left of that too.
I have no idea how it works. I know once Andy gets his vote, we're gonna bribe him to vote for Andy, so.
And then he's gonna bribe everyone else.
Old hockey trick.
See,
there we go.
Get a guy on the inside.
And we're back. So we'll move on here we'll stick on the topic of Cubbies. Can't get enough Cubbies.
This is a Cub show.
This is a Cubs show. We'll sprinkle in the Sox, guys. Relax, okay? We don't hate the Sox. We like the Sox. We don't love them. We like them.
I already said I watched the Sox. That is a big step for me.
Listen, I don't hate the Sox because I have money on them right now. I'm betting them. So you can't hate a team that you bet. You just hate yourself. Anyways, Fukudome, March 31st, 2008. 0-0 game up into the ninth. Kerry Wood comes in, gives up 3 in his first game as a closer with the Cubbies. Not great.
Not great. I like Kerry Wood, the starter, better.
Bottom of the ninth, 2 guys on. Down 3, Fukudome steps up against Eric Gagne.
Game over Gagne, I think is what they used to call him.
No, it's
the
funny.
Game was just getting started.
People probably don't know who this guy is, but this is my buddy Fat Dick. Shout out Fat Dick. Ty and Max know who Fat Dick is. Great guy. When I had my LASIK a month ago, I had those glasses. He kept texting me that I looked like Gagne, just randomly. Like, yo, what's up, Gagne? It's probably the nicest thing he's ever said to me, though. Jesus, I gave the guy the nickname Fat Dick. All he calls me is Gagne. I think he caught my tires somewhat more.
Just like a 56 save legend.
French
Actually, he got busted with steroids too, didn't he?
Everybody, in my opinion, if you play from like 98 to 08, we'll say
you had a needle in your ass.
You had something in your ass. Who says no? Who says no? Anywho, Fukudome took Gagne, Yabo San Lucas,
smashed that thing right center
for grabs.
He got on base all 4 times that he stepped up to the plate that game.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did. He was 3 for 3 with a walk.
I bet you that's something people had no idea about, that he was 3 for 3 with a walk.
In his debut at Wrigley on opening day. Like, that is just electric factory right there.
So that's exactly, he was a modern day, or Yerman Mercedes is a modern day Kosuke Fukudome, is what you're saying.
Well, I don't know, because I feel like the Cubs signed Fukudome and there was a lot of hype around him in the offseason when they picked him up. He was the guy that the Cubs grabbed, and everyone's like, all right, I'm getting his jersey.
I mean, and plus, can you make like Ron Santo saying that name? Fukudome?
Like, guilty as charged too. I got his jersey so fast.
Oh yeah, I still have his jersey. How could you not? I might buy another one right now.
I actually have a framed picture in my bedroom at my parents' house of me sitting in his locker.
That is weird.
It is weird.
Can we get up?
Real weird.
Can you get your parents to send us a picture of that?
Yeah, I'm gonna get I'll get a picture of that. But we did like the tour of Wrigley Field. I'm also like fucking. How old am I? 13, 14 in this picture.
Not right now, though.
No, not right now. I feel like I'm 40 today. Yeah. But so we did like the tour of Wrigley Field, went in the locker room, all that stuff, and then he has his jersey hanging there, and you could basically go and take a picture right next to his stuff. So I did, and now it's framed in my room, and it is weird at this point.
What do you think Kosuke Fukudome is doing at this very second?
I have no clue.
What do you think he does for fun? What does Kosuke Fukudome do for fun?
He seems like the kind of guy who would have woodworking as a hobby.
What?
Just a
I
wood,
could-
a
I
guy
think I
that
could
loves
see
to
that.
woodwork. And that's not a sexual innuendo.
Guy knows his way around a wooden shaft.
I actually can't see that at all, but we're just gonna roll with it.
I mean, on the list of things I was expecting you to say, that wasn't on the list.
Didn't make the list.
No,
Yeah,
that
he
didn't
was
quite
like
make
a
the list.
super average player with the Cubs, though. He hit 260 in 4 seasons, and he never had more than 13 home runs.
Yeah, you know what? But if you hit 260 in today's game, that's like, it's not bad, not bad. So who knows? Who knows? Bring Kosuke back. Fuck it. Whenever you hear Max go, that means he doesn't give a fuck about what I'm saying.
That's basically like next.
Next. And it's like the Emmys music. Next. And next, but not least, April 2nd, 2009, the Bears trade Kyle Orton, 2 first-rounders, a third-rounder to the Broncos for Jay Cutler and a 5th. Oh, man, I remember this day like it's yesterday. We were
The
freshmen.
day
in high school
after
for that.
April Fool's Day. If this was on April 1st, I might not have believed it.
We were freshmen in high school for this. This was like a day after Vinnie Hinostroza knocked you on your ass.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I was
honestly
I was
remember-
definitely concussed.
I honestly remember where I was when I found out about this trade. We had a freshman doubleheader. We were playing Eisenhower High School. It was like 20 degrees out.
Was this before or after you broke the record for steals at Lamont?
Just before. Like
So
minutes
you
before.
broke the record 3 games into your freshman year?
The single season varsity record. Yeah. So that was pretty sweet.
You're not even fast.
I'm quick. I was quick when I had two
Hockey
ACL.
guys are always quick.
Yeah, I'm quick.
That's
You
a
see
fact.
my
Kyle
legs?
runs like a duck.
Next.
No, he's fast. He is. He's definitely faster than me.
That'd be a good video to have. Just a video of me running and just comparing it to the most obscene things. Yeah, I'm,
Well,
I'm quick, but I run like an idiot.
Can we make
I
that a
told-
segment?
Do anything. It's our show.
I told all my friends that I think I could run a 4.840, and I'm going to stand by it.
You
No
can run a
chance in
what?
hell.
4.840.
There's no chance in hell.
Let's bust it out, dude.
You think you could run a 4.840?
You'd be lucky to break 5.5.
Okay, can we? If those for watching on the YouTube, can we put that picture in of you at Peanuts on our senior bar call?
If we could roll him, he might go 4.8.
Just me wrecked at the bar.
Yeah, maybe if you're running to a bar, it's a 4.840.
Downhill, you might go 4.8.
Easy. I could do an easy 5, I think, dude. 5.
And
is
by
not that
downhill, I
hard.
mean the side of a cliff.
Yeah, if you
Just
have gravity on your
free-falling.
side, you might be good. You think Jay Cutler runs a 4.840?
Yes.
Definitely.
He was actually a freak in high school.
Yeah, he was. Do you know what town he's from?
Santa Claus, Indiana, I believe.
Oh, fuck, son. Did you know that?
I know my
Negative.
Jay Cutler. My Jay Cutler.
Well, then why don't you tell me a little bit more about Jay Cutler?
Shit, what do you want to know?
Everything. I want to know his stats with the Bears, your favorite moment of him with the Bears, who he threw his first touchdown to the Bears to, and the last game he played with the Bears. Do you remember
Okay.
what that was?
I hope you know the answers to some of these. But I'll start with he went 51-50 overall in his Bears regular season career, which is the definition of mediocre and not really indicative of how good of a quarterback I think Jay Cutler actually was. Obviously only won the one playoff game. He beat Seattle. He had a phenomenal game against Seattle. I think he had 4 total touchdowns.
Seattle was under 500.
But it's a playoff win. But he also leads the Bears franchise in passing attempts, yards, completions, touchdowns, completion percentage. Led in QBR, I think, until Mitch came along. But every major passing category, Jay Cutler's name is basically in the books for the Chicago Bears.
Mitch has a higher QBR than Jay Cutler.
I believe so.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting. I did not know that. Would you
You
rather
could
have?
you could fact check me on that at some point, but I'm pretty
No,
sure
I mean
Mitch
you're the stat guy.
has a higher one.
Who would you rather have, Jay or Mitch? In their,
It's tough.
I'll say their prime. I guess Mitch now or Jay when he was slinging it.
It's hard. The hard thing about the comparison is I just feel like Cutler, and this is like the classic excuse for Cutler. He had so many different coaches and offensive coordinators during his time with the Bears. I feel like he never really got settled in.
Yeah, I mean, who do you have? He had Ron Turner,
Mike
Mark
Martz,
Martz, Mike Tice,
Mark Trestman.
Mark Trestman. Oh, that was Jesus Christ.
That was a fucking train wreck.
And then whoever was with is it Dowell Loggins was with John Fox. Is that
Yeah.
the guy?
So I
Looks
mean, I don't know. I mean, he had Gase too, right?
Gase. Oh yeah, he actually had a great year under Gase though. with
Yeah.
John Fox.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Like if you give him a stifling defense like the Bears had in that year when they went 12-4.
In 2018.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that the kind of team that Cutler needs to succeed? The thing about Cutler is his mechanics were sloppy as shit. He always seemed to have a really poorly timed interception.
Yeah, but his
So that would be
offensive line was
interesting.
made of like wet Cheetos. Like you just walk right through them.
Wait, what was that?
Wet Cheetos. Like they're shitty. Like Jamarcus Webb. He looks like just a big wet Cheeto. I'm dying on this wet Cheeto hill. Never used that phrase before. I couldn't think of what the term. Like a wet paper bag was what I was looking for, but I'm gonna
Wet
say
Cheetos would suck. I would not want my Cheetos to get wet.
Would you want Jay Cutler to be protected by wet Cheetos? No.
No.
How would you describe Jamarcus Webb?
Now the only way I could think of is a wet Cheeto.
A wet Cheeto. Jamarcus Webb is a wet Cheeto. Yeah, you remember him in Green Bay? Cutler, I think he got sacked for like the 8th time. And he was walking off and he just like bumped into Jamarcus Webb like, you fat fuck.
Right.
Me."
He got it behind him. God knows what he said to him.
Oh God, I would pay a lot of money, a large sum of money.
I was watching a YouTube video earlier this week of like Cutler's best sound bites during a game. He's pretty funny. He's always talking about obscure shit. Like one time he's in Minnesota and he's like, how long do you think it takes them to open this dome? Or he's like, what would you do if you had to fight a bear? Like he asked Josh McCown that. Like he's just asking like hilariously, completely unrelated to football questions.
They're down 4 with like 3 minutes left.
Yeah.
How long do you think it takes to open this dome?
When he was talking to McCown about that, he's like, all right, actually I gotta go play.
I'm gonna go get sacked again. Jamarcus is wet.
That was the other thing that was that was frustrating about Jay at times, is it just seemed like he didn't give a shit. But I think that is just his general personality. I don't think he actually didn't care.
Yeah, no, I definitely think he did care. I mean, there's moments where if he scored a touchdown, like if he rushed a touchdown or big moments, whatnot, fist pumps, go running towards the sideline.
Right.
Cheering. But yeah, overall, he kind of had that. I obviously won't say he's not exactly like Kyle Hendricks, but he had that kind of low level emotion.
Just kind of even keel.
Yeah, there you go.
Level headed.
Yeah, he's very level headed. I think I'd take Cutler in a heartbeat over Mitch.
Agreed. I think right. I think he definitely he had a bigger arm for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, Mitch is not as mobile, but
you asked for my favorite memory. I love that run he had for a touchdown against the Lions, where he just got helicoptered into the end zone, and he just gets up and is all jacked up out of his mind.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That is a good one. I love that one. I'm trying to think what's like a Jay Cutler memory that isn't playoff related.
That isn't him sitting out the NFC Championship game with a sore MCL.
No,
because that's what everyone wants to talk about with Jay Cutler.
I don't blame him. You gotta make sure your mentals and chickens are there. Trying to think.
Shout out Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah. No, probably honestly that 2011 season or 2010-2011 season, him and Johnny Knox were just unbelievable. Think of it. That's who his receivers were. It was Johnny Knox, Devin Hester.
Well, he had. I think he had 1 or 2 years where he had Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall opposite each other.
Yeah, because he didn't stop throwing for. I think for the first year it was just Marshall, or maybe no. They both came in at the same time, but all he did was fucking throw it to Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, he would get like 16 or 17 targets.
The Allen Robinson circa 2010 of the Bears.
Yeah, pretty much. Honestly, that's what
Essentially,
it was.
yeah.
Well, okay. So what was the next one? Who did he throw his first touchdown pass to? Do you know?
I'm gonna guess. This is a wild card guess. I'm gonna say Kellen Davis.
No.
Okay. You want me to keep
Green
guessing?
Bay, Monday Night Football. He threw 1 touchdown that game, 4 picks. Not great. Not great.
Is it a tight end?
Nope.
A wide receiver?
Yup.
Earl Bennett?
No.
Okay. 0 for 2.
0 for 2. One more. Come on.
I'm down in the count. 0-2.
And I'm bringing some heat.
Shit. I'm trying to think who would have been on. What other receivers would have been on the team?
It was a wheel route from a slot receiver. Caught it running into the pylon. I think
Devin Hester.
Devin Hester. There
Yep.
it is.
I know the exact play that you're talking about now.
Side note from that game, I love when they wear the white on white.
Boom. 0-2 count. Kyle just hung a slider and I just sent it onto Waveland.
Yeah. Have never not hung a slider.
Boom.
Okay. And what was the last question? What team did he play his last game against? Last game against with the Bears.
Green Bay.
No, this one you probably won't get. It's the New York Football Giants. He got I think he tore his labrum when he got sacked and he came out of the game. And I think his last throw was an interception.
Really? That's just poetic, isn't it?
Tell me I'm wrong on that, please, but I think I'm right.
I don't know. He's easily, I would say he's the most polarizing quarterback ever, Chicago Bears history.
More polarizing than Jim McMahon?
Yes. And one of the most polarizing athletes in general to come through Chicago. There's just so many people that have mixed opinions on Jay Cutler.
Who's more polarizing, him or Dennis Rodman?
Has to be Cutler. I feel like everyone loved Rodman.
Okay. Yeah.
You're
probably right. I just hung another 0-2 slider.
Good answer.
Yeah. Are you just going to keep throwing me cement mixer sliders down the center of the plate?
Down the middle of the dick? Yeah, probably. Well, speaking down the dick,
let's go.
Our final question here. Would you rather tailgate beforehand in Wrigleyville for a Cubs game at the bars on Clark Street, or tailgate in the parking lots at U.S. Cellular Field? I know it's guaranteed rate, but whatever.
I'm not going to answer that question. I think I'm just going to let Psalm go first, and then I'm going to embarrass him.
This is just us. So let's hear what he has to say.
So listen, my biggest argument for why I prefer to go to the Sox Stadium.
Wrong.
Right. Like as far as the total overall atmosphere goes, yeah, catch me at Wrigley. That's fine. And that's coming from a Sox guy. I'm not a Cubs guy. But the fact that you can tailgate at the Sox Stadium before a game is everything. I'm not trying to go sit fucking butts to nuts at a bar in Wrigleyville with a million people, loud, drunk frat dudes that I don't want to be with, when I could just tailgate with me and my homies outside the game for way cheaper before a game. And that's that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Wrigley and I love the field, but if I'm pre-gaming the game, yeah, catch me at Sox Stadium tailgating my balls off, grilling my own hot dogs instead of spending $9 a hot dog.
The only thing I heard from all of that was butts to nuts.
That's the main takeaway for me too.
Yeah,
that's new. I've never heard that before.
I've never heard that either. I'm
gonna start using that.
But that's such a Psalm thing.
You're gonna tell me you really don't like the bars in Wrigleyville?
Yeah. You
I'm
ask
like a-
21-year-old me, I'd say, yeah, they're dope. You ask a 26-year-old me, I say, I don't want to be anywhere near that cesspool.
No, but there's different. Like, you're not gonna go sit at Sluggers.
Why not?
Yeah, why?
I mean, I am, but you're not.
I'm gonna say that's exactly where I was gonna be.
Kyle is.
So, okay, so let me ask you this. If you're going before the Cubs game to a bar, which bar are you going to?
I like Bernie's a lot.
Okay, and what does a beer at Bernie's cost? Probably $8.
It doesn't count because you're there for fun and you're going to the Cubs game.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it doesn't. It's Max's spot on it doesn't count. Plus, I'm winning all my bets, so that day's paid for.
Right.
I've seen
Just
your
here.
track
All
record.
right. Let me fill you in on. a
Yeah,
little
explain to me why
Give me
you
your
think
ideal
it's.
day. Give me your ideal Cubs game.
Give me
Okay.
your wrong opinion.
It's a
right
Friday afternoon. Let's say it's the first or second week of June.
Oh,
It's going to be about 77 degrees with a little breeze off the lake. 120 start against the Cardinals.
Kyle Hendricks is on the mound.
I was going to say Jake Arrieta, but I could be
Oh.
talking to Kyle Hendricks too.
Someone to give me the jerky.
Jake Arrieta is on the bump. And you're playing a little hooky from work on this Friday. So you got that good get out of work early feeling. Everyone else, all your friends and family are working that day, but you and let's say 3 of your buddies are meeting on Clark Street to grab a couple beers 3 hours before the game. So game starts at 1:20. You get there, you get settled in. You have a couple beers, get a little food in you, and then you head over to Wrigley and grab your seats in the bleachers. I mean, I personally would much prefer that than to be tailgating in a parking lot on the south side of the city.
And you grab those seats in probably the top of the second, maybe top of the third ish,
Right, that too.
because you don't realize what time it is.
Here's my other part of my
Actually, yeah.
argument, I guess, is you also live in the city. So for you, it's just a quick L ride or Uber away. For me, I have to drive or take an hour train ride and then catch an Uber or take the L past that point.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
we're
like-
saying if all were created equal.
I will say this: parking is a bitch for Cubs games.
Yeah, so then you have to take the public transportation and then you're on their time and then you fucking miss the train after the game and then you're sitting at fucking Ogilvy until 10 o'clock at night because you missed 2 trains because you're all fucking gooped up on GOP. And
Kyle,
yeah.
let's hear your take on this.
Cooped up on GOP and butts to nuts.
The tailgating thing is cool. I will say, any chance I get to go up to Miller Park and tailgate a Cubs Brewers game, I have a good time.
Any chance I can use a charcoal grill, sign me up.
To grill some wieners. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. I know you're a big wiener guy.
Yeah.
I think my perfect day, I'll use somewhat of the same criteria you had. We'll say Friday, 120 start, 80 degrees, humidity probably about 25%. I'm definitely wearing my home white Rizzo jersey, maybe one button only done. Waking up early, I'm not even working out that day because it's going to be useless. I'm just getting my steps in.
Exactly.
Probably walking Bubs a little bit just to kind of, preemptively get the scaries away. It's like prehab. You know how like I tore my ACL, I had to do prehab. That's pretty much what my morning walk is. Prehab. It's like physical Xanax. Just to get the mind right. I look at the starting lineups or the pitching matchups, see how much money I'm going to bet, fully knowing I'm going to max bet it no matter what. Then, drive down to Wrigley or drive down to your place or wherever I can stay in the city. Try to get there by at probably like 10, 30, 11-ish. 2 hours, an hour, 90 minutes before first pitch. Have a couple beers, slug a few with Gal. Gal's horny. Gal's got his nipples are poking through his shirt. The boys are ready to go. We probably get Chipotle.
Boys are buzzing.
We get Chipotle because that's what Gal always eats. He loves Chipotle or maybe.
You can't get Chipotle before a Cubs game.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's sinful.
You got to get like a burger, like some kind of wrap or some shit.
Listen, is this your itinerary or is this mine?
All right, keep going. I apologize.
So I house Chipotle, right? Fully knowing I'm gonna have 15 beers and it's just gonna be a rough evening. So we had to Bernie's, or we had Cubby Bear. I've been to the Cubby Bear too many times.
Old Crow's a good one.
See, I feel like Old Crow's more of a post game bar.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I got my fake ID taken away there in college, and
I don't think I've ever actually eaten there.
I can't look at it the same now.
Oh, you eat at Chipotle, you idiot. Anywho, I'll say 12:15-ish, we stumble to the Cubby Bear, get a couple shots, get a couple of Miller Lights, tall boys. Hopefully there's there probably wouldn't be any other baseball games on, but whatever, watch a little ESPN, some replays, have a couple beers. I'm a stickler. I like to be there for first pitch. I really do. I'm probably telling Gail and the boys, let's fucking go. It's 105. Listen, you want to fucking stay in Lollygag and try to get no pussy here? You do
I
that.
want to hear the anthem.
I want to hear John Vincent scream free for 45 seconds.
Are you a batting practice guy?
No. When I was younger, yeah, but not now. No, I'm more
Definitely when you're a kid, like you want to show up there, bring your mitt. You're trying to catch a ball, maybe get an autograph.
I'll tell you what though, if they aired batting practice, I'd go to Sluggers beforehand or the Cubby Bear beforehand and just sit there and watch batting. I would become a batting practice guy again.
Yes.
Easily. Not without a doubt in my mind, I'd sit there, watch batting practice. But then, yeah, I go in, I'm definitely there for first pitch. Before I sit down, though, I'm grabbing 2 beers. And then it's pretty much
Good
beer.
call. I forgot to mention, you definitely have to grab peanuts on the way into the game, not once you get into the stadium.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I try to sneak in, like, pardon me, pocket shots or any sort of hard alcohol I can, just so I can try to black out as soon as possible.
That's fair. That's a fair play.
So anyways, I still think just the whole atmosphere and just such a cliche answer, obviously, but everything about Wrigley Field and the surrounding of Wrigley Field is better than going to a game at guaranteed rate.
Yeah, I mean, me, you, and Ty, we might have to do a little content piece. Might have to go to a Sox game and tailgate, and then go to a Cubs game.
We should actually go to one of each and then see where Psalm has more fun.
And see where Psalm gets more drunk.
Yeah, I was gonna say wherever I black out the most.
I like this. Let's follow up on this
I don't
one.
know if it's black out the most. I think it's black out the quickest.
Quickest. I guess so. Quickest is the most.
Do you have a stopwatch?
I can make this happen in 5 minutes or less.
Oh yeah. Now we're talking.
But
All right. I would like to hit our down on the farm segment though, before we close the show out. One guy that I've been itching to talk about, Garrett Crochet. I learned how to pronounce his name. At first I thought it was Crochet.
No.
But it is in fact Garrett Crochet.
Yeah.
Pitched yesterday for the Sox, went a little over 2.1 innings, no hits or walks, and 3 strikeouts. He looked good from the left side. I mean, the guy throws cheese. He's basically hitting an easy triple digits, and he's got a solid sweeping slider. 6'6", 218 pounds. Played college ball at Tennessee. It's crazy how fast.
Hinostroza freshman B game.
What's that?
Did he got knocked the fuck out by Vinnie Hinostroza playing safety?
No, he didn't. Different guy. Different 6'6", 218 pound guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got the frame that scouts literally drool over. And it was crazy to see how fast he just whipped through the Sox farm system. He was the 11th overall pick in 2020. He was already pitching in the MLB that same year in September.
I hate everything about him. Just strictly from the point I'm jealous. I'm so jealous. Are you kidding me? This guy went straight from Tennessee. Pretty much, he went to the alternate site, but then to the majors. That's it.
And he was pitching in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. And high leverage situations.
Right. And he was good.
He was very good. And I don't know if they're going to stretch him out to make him a starter. I'm assuming they will, if it's a possibility. But I'm just thinking of the Sox rotation. If it's Giolito, Eichel, Cease,
Kopech,
and Garrett Crochet.
Yeah.
Is 162-0 a possibility?
It seems like they got a lot of things working for them.
Or maybe 156-6 because they played the Cup 6 times, and those are all
Yes. But yeah, the big thing with him seems like he's had arm tightness and soreness in college. He's missed time in the past, and he's had to get pulled from games because of that. But it's probably really just caution more than anything.
No, in a very serious note here, I think he's honestly a fun pitcher to watch. It's honestly great to watch him just make these professional hitters look like absolute mutants.
Yes. And
He's
I
the
will
biggest-
say that in spring training, he pitched 7 innings, only gave up 1 run. Guess who drove that 1 run in?
I know. Hold on. David Bodie.
Nope.
Is
Not
that-
Eric Sogard either.
Jake Merznick.
Nico Horner.
Oh, fuck.
Nico.
Nico.
There it is.
Nico. There he is. There's Maxi Pat. Oh, yeah. No, he's good. He's going to be fun to watch for a long time here. He's going to be a pain in my ass. He's going to be sticking a needle in my ass for a long time.
So yeah, I guess maybe we'll close it out with that.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of needles in our ass, let's get off that topic and throw it over to Andy and Tony.
All right, we got a couple guests we'd like to welcome to the show. First, the recurring guest, Andy Martinez from Marquee. Thanks for coming back on the show, buddy. How you doing?
Good. I like that the second time makes me recurring. That's quite an honor for sure.
That's
Fucking right.
it. And then Tony Andracki, if I said that right, but also with Marquee.
That was so wrong.
It was close enough. It's all good.
But thanks for coming on, guys. We're excited to talk Cubs and Chicago baseball and pick your brains a little bit about what's going on with our favorite Chicago baseball sports team.
Hey, real quick before we get into Chicago baseball, Andy, what the fuck happened with Winthrop?
Dude,
The
I thought
Winthrop
that was a
Winthrop.
lock of the century.
Yeah,
They let me down.
yeah, Tony. Last time,
I don't
Andy,
even think it was close. I don't remember that one.
No, it was. I mean, Andy gave out the pick of Winthrop plus 6.5 against Villanova in the first round, and they did not cover. He
I
was
think that was for like 11.
he was touting it. Winthrop.
They were down 2 for like all game, and then at the end, Villanova just pulled away.
Yeah, no, it sucked, but you didn't know their mascot's name. That should have been the first sign that maybe not. take
That
Winthrop.
should have been the first.
Wait, what is their mascot?
The
I don't
Shit,
know.
what
It looked
was
like
their
a-
mascot?
So you still don't know.
We still
Like a
don't
birds
know.
or
hawk or
something.
something.
They're a
Some
bird.
kind
I
of
know
bird.
that.
The Eagles.
Eagles.
Yeah.
They're the
Yeah,
Eagles.
that's right.
Anyways, let's talk a little Cubbies here. Let's get started. So I want you guys to talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Why can't the Cubs hit?
Andy, I'll let you start.
I'd like to think that first game had a lot to do with the cold. Because I mean, Tony, you were there. I was cold, man. I was really, really cold. And I wasn't playing. Like, I can only imagine what it was like for the Cubs playing in like 30, 35 degree weather. I mean, I think that's a big contributing factor, but yeah, I don't know. It's I guess it's a lot different going from 80 and sunny to 35 and sunny.
Yeah, I think honestly, to me, yes, it was a loss, and they're 0-1 on the season, and they only got 2 hits. But I actually think there were some like really interesting positive takeaways from the offense, because they scored 3 runs off of, well, again, only 2 hits, but off of productive outs, and that's just something we haven't seen enough of from this team and this lineup in the last few years. They weren't like hitting situationally and getting the runner home from third with less than 2 outs. So the fact that they did that, I mean, they're going to hit. All these guys have all-stars and track records and amazing, back of the baseball cards and everything else that David Ross always points to. But the fact that they scored 3 times without a hit, with all unproductive outs, I think that's something that can carry over and actually like speak well to the future.
Yeah, no, that was obviously a little tongue in cheek. I love the people after the first game. It's like, fuck. Are you kidding me? Of course, Javi strikes out again or whatever. It's like, okay, dude, shut the fuck up. It's game 1.
Yeah, I mean,
I think-
there have been Cubs teams in the past that have been pretty reliant on the long ball, so it is good to see them scoring on a couple sac flies in the first game.
Yeah, no, I mean, what was it? So they had 3. It was 3 guys on third base, less than 1 or less than 2 outs, right? And 3 sac flies. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can't really complain about that. It's more or less just striking out less and maybe not walking 12 guys or 13 guys or however many they walked.
Seemed like
Yeah,
there
I
was a
think-
lot of buzz about the Pirates bullpen too, and how they have one of the stronger pens in the MLB this year.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Dwayne Underwood Jr. could be a star for them. That would be really interesting. He has the best strikeout rate in the majors right now. So
I will say, in all seriousness, Richard Rodriguez, I was looking up some of his advanced numbers. Like, that dude is going to be like, someone is going to trade a lot for, or is going to get a steal when they trade for him.
Was he the
at
closer?
deadline. What's that?
Was he the closer?
Did he pitch the 8th? I can't remember. Or did he close it down?
he pitched the 9th, but you drafted him in fantasy, right, Andy?
Yeah, I did too. Cause I did the season preview on the NL Central teams, and I looked up Richard Rodriguez's numbers. He was like in the 95th percentile in fastball speed. Like, he was really, really good at advanced numbers. Like, I think he's going to be like a guy to keep your eye on in terms of like a dude that gets moved at the trade deadline.
Okay. A little scouting here. Go ahead, Max.
I bet if Nico Horner was in the lineup, they would have had more hits.
Well, David Bodie played well. He had he had that one play that was that ground ball that should have been a routine out, but whatever. Sogard looks good. I like Tony's a high Sox guy. He analyzes everybody with the high Sox there.
Oh yeah.
What would you on an 80 grade scale? What would you give Sogard Sox?
So I'm actually not a big stirrups fan. Not a big stirrups fan. So I don't really like the look that much. And the one thing I always find interesting is what guys actually do under the stirrups, if they wear like white regular baseball socks, or I've seen guys before and like guys that I've played with who have just had like regular like old man white socks that you wear the white New Balance shoes. I've seen them wear that with like stirrups over it. So I have no idea what Sogard does. I've not been in the locker room or anything with him. So I'd be curious about that, but I'm not a huge stirrups fan. So I'd give him like maybe like everybody with high socks is an 80 grade. Brings him down to like a 60 grade.
Okay. That sucks that you haven't been in a locker room. We were going to ask a couple questions about that, but if you haven't been in there, I guess we can't ask. Like who has like what's the spread like and stuff like that. But I guess we'll holster those.
Yeah. Well, wait. The spread in spring training when we were tier 2 was pretty great. I mean, we ate like baseball players for like 10 days with Scott Shagnon and I and Andrew Miller. That was amazing. That was like because they just had if you go and get a hamburger, they had 2 burgers. So you had like 2 buns you could put it on, and it was like you eat like you're a 24-year-old, baseball player. So it was pretty awesome.
How many hot dogs did you down?
None in that part, but I ate a bunch during like hot dogs and brats and Polish sausage at Sloan Park and the other places.
Love it.
Yeah. If you have them at your disposal at any time, it's hard not to.
Well, yeah. And so last year, Andy, you can speak to this too. There were no concessions open at Wrigley ever. So we always had to leave to go get like Chipotle or anything else. And I missed that. I went a full year without eating concessions at a ballpark. It was strange.
Yeah. Like when I was in Arizona, the first 2 parks I went to, I was like, I don't care if like we have time to go to get food beforehand. Like I'm going to eat ballpark food just because like I haven't had ballpark food in 18 months or whatever it's been. Like I got a hot dog the first day, and then the second day I think I got cheese curds because they were playing Milwaukee, so they had the cheese curds, and they were pretty good for I can't assume they got them straight from Wisconsin, but I guess I don't know.
All right, I'll give you this question. This is a hard hitting question. If it was your death row meal, but you could only get ballpark food, what would you get?
Ooh.
Those giant tubs of popcorn?
The what?
The giant tubs of popcorn, like the biggest one.
Yeah. You would house a giant tub of popcorn?
What about like a nacho helmet?
That's what I was thinking. So I narrowed it down to 2. I did helmet nachos, and then the Cuban sandwich from Sox Park. I don't know if you guys have had the Cuban sandwich at Sox Park. It's really good. Those 2 are that. I don't know. I think I'll lean towards the nacho helmet just because like it comes in the helmet and baseball spirit.
But then you could wear the helmet as they knock you out too. So it's like you have the nachos on your head as they're zapping you. So that'd be pretty sweet, I guess. If there's any
Only
sort
you
of
would think that, Kyle.
I don't know. The first thing I thought of when Andy said the nacho helmets, I was like, I'm definitely wearing a Cubs helmet as I'm getting zapped to death. I mean, if there's one way to go out, that has to be it, right?
I
You're
can't
not
think of a
wrong,
better
I guess.
Speaking of going out, you Darvish obviously not with the team anymore. So I got to ask, who do you think is going to have the lower ERA this year? You Darvish or Zach Davies?
So far, it's Davies.
People forget that.
That's really interesting because I think it could be closer than people think. Like I would say Darvish still, but I think Davies is going to surprise some people. And I mean, it wasn't long ago that we saw Darvish posting like a 5+ ERA. So I don't know. We'll see. And the adjustment period from Darvish to LA took a little bit too. And then when he came to Chicago, so we'll see if it takes a bit for San Diego too. But
Did you guys watch any? Did you watch any of that Padres game or see any of the highlights yesterday?
I heard Darvish got roughed up.
He didn't look
He had
great.
6 strikeouts, I think. Right? That
Yeah,
sounds
but
about right.
I think that's what he had. But he is one of those guys though that it almost like it takes him a second to acclimate to a new setting, and like when he came to the Cubs, obviously he struggled right away. Did you say when he was in LA he struggled when he first got there?
Well, I think he was really good at the start, but then obviously he struggled, and he was good. He dominated the Cubs in the NLCS, but then he struggled in the World Series, and that kind of affected him and changed the course of his career after that. So the fans in LA, they hated him for a while, like after that World Series and how he pitched in that. So I think that affected him, and now obviously he's both close to LA. He's going to be pitching there a lot in the division, and just the adjustment period. At least he has teammate Victor Caratini now, but yeah, other than that, I don't know. I don't know how the adjustment period will go, if he'll feel a lot better and in a pandemic trying to like learn everybody's faces with masks on and get to know guys. It's interesting.
How big of a deal is that, do you think, having a personal catcher in general? I mean, one, just having a personal catcher as Darvish and Caratini were together with the Cubs, but then going to a new city going from Chicago to San Diego. Do you think that's a big adjustment for them? Or
Big
what do you
deal
think
for
that
John Lester?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's I think it always helps because you're a package deal going over there. So they instantly have a bond together, and whether they played with any other guy there or not. They have that, and they're the guys that are working together. I mean, obviously we saw that on opening day. So I think it speaks to a lot, especially right now, because like Brandon Workman talked about it last year, getting traded from the Red Sox to the Phillies. And some of the other guys have said it, that I think being traded in the middle of a pandemic and uprooting your family and trying to get to know guys when there's all these COVID protocols, you can't just go out to dinner, right? Like you can't just have a dinner at like Olive Garden with all these dudes. I know they don't go to Olive Garden, but like wherever the other big league players go and pick up like 10,000
housing breadsticks.
Yeah, you can't just do that as a 25-man group. So it's different. There's an adjustment period, I think.
Yeah. So who do you think in the past 2 years, who do you think's actually had a lower ERA between
Since you're
Davies and
asking, it's gotta
Darvish?
be Davies, right?
I'm with Andy.
That is Davies. Just not a big deal. I love the people
That
though
last
who.
year in
Go ahead, Andy.
I was gonna say that last year he did in Milwaukee was really, really good. Like he was really, really good for Milwaukee.
Yeah,
I think. Go ahead, Kyle.
No, I was just gonna say, Tony. I know one of your articles you were saying, or you're quoting Ross and saying like he doesn't care about velocity. He just wants outs, and fuck, Davies gives you outs.
Yeah, right. He's exactly like Kyle Hendricks in that regard. Like they're the two most similar pitchers, I think, in baseball. The closest guy to Kyle Hendricks is probably Zach Davies, and then right after that might be Alec Mills with the way they pitch and use their pitchability. That's the word that the Cubs like a lot, and I think around baseball too. Basically, pitchability is anybody who doesn't have high velocity but still gets outs.
Yeah, sticking to the topic of the rotation, it seems like that was the biggest question mark heading into the season because the Cubs kind of blew up what they had in place last year. What can you guys tell us about like Trevor Williams, for example, who's another guy that's kind of a new face to the team? he was with the Pirates. Didn't have the greatest numbers from an ERA standpoint, but what are some of the things that you guys have liked seeing from him?
Andy.
So I think like first, not even getting into the baseball, like personality wise, he's probably going to be a lot of people's like favorite Cub from a personality standpoint. Like he just like his persona, his personality, like he's just a funny dude, and he's like just got a good personality. There's an instance when we were doing an interview down there in Arizona, and a reporter had their video, like their phone recording the interview, and the wind, it was a really windy day, and it knocks over the phone, a tripod. So he picks up the tripod, Trevor Williams does, and he just holds it like he does one of these, and is like speaking so he's like still being on camera, and it was just like a funny moment, and I'm like, this dude's hilarious. And yeah, he just like, he's like personality wise, he was like extremely like funny and just a good persona. But the other thing that was interesting about him, like from a baseball perspective, was one thing that he was working on a lot was his slider. And like Tony has a really good story on MarqueeSportsNetwork.com about the pitch lab, and like the Cubs pitching infrastructure to improve pitching. But Trevor Williams was working on that slider in the pitch lab, and like just different grips, different ways to spin the ball so that he can get that depth and just deceive hitters. That's something that he was working on. Like he mentioned, I think it was against LA down in spring training. He threw like 3 different kinds of sliders, and like one of them got a strikeout, one of them got a hit, and one of them induced weak contact. And so he was able to see just off that grip, like, all right, this is one thing it did, this is another thing that it could do. And that was one thing he was playing on that I think could see him, the Cubs could see Trevor Williams get back to that level that he had when he was pretty solid in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I agree. And I just think like Andy wrote a cool story early in spring training about how like Williams is going to win like Mr. Personality. Like he's just a great dude. And I totally agree with that. I had the similar experience where he's just a lot of fun in interviews. Like he tells you a lot about what he's going through, like Andy mentioned with the slider and stuff, but he just has like a good personality. He's very like personable and engaging. He was joking with March Madness that he can see the future and Gonzaga wins the national championship. And I mean, it might happen.
I wish I knew that.
I'm to believe that maybe Trevor Williams actually can see the future. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, he seems like a really interesting guy, and he was great in spring. So the Cubs think that they kind of have something under the radar with him.
He's starting the 4th game, right, on Monday?
Yeah, so they haven't specifically said which guys going in which order, Williams and Alzolay. They're starting games 4 and 5, but Ross has not specifically said which guy's going. I mean, I would put money on Williams being the 4th guy, but, I think it's subject to change in case something comes up or they just want to alter it.
Sticking with the rotation here, how excited are you to have Jake Arrieta back? And how good does he look? Holy fuck.
The answer to both questions is yes, or very much. He's in great shape. I mean, I'm turning 34 in a couple weeks. So he's a year older than me, and I'm in nowhere near the shape that he is. Like I feel, 33, 34, and he looks like he's like 25, not 35. So it's impressive. He's always been in really great shape, but I think he also looks good on the mound. He's not throwing 95 anymore, but he looks really good. Got a lot of swing and miss. Like at that start against the White Sox he had at the end of spring training, I thought was pretty impressive. Some of the swings he got there. So yeah, I think it's, at the very least, it's awesome. I think it's great for fans. I think it's really good for us in the media because he's so interesting and engaging. And it's just going to be fun, at Wrigley Field with fans there, like Arrieta starting all season. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm excited to have him back, the fan in me. Just seeing Jake back on the mound in a Cubs uniform takes me back to that 2016 season. I guess transitioning over to the lineup or the hitting side of the team, what are you guys expecting out of KB this year? That he's kind of been another guy who's been pretty polarizing over this past offseason and even last season a little bit. What do you guys think for him? Bounce back year?
I think there's a really good chance of a bounce back year. I mean, he was hurt a ton last year. Like his numbers obviously reflected that. You know, the diving catch in Cleveland, like the wrist injury there, just was never really healthy. And then like when he finally started getting healthy, it was that White Sox series that Grand Slam, and then 3 days later, 4 days later, whatever it is, the season's over. It's like, well, like finally once you start getting healthy, it's like your season's done, and then you got to restart back up. I don't like it's we might not see everything right away. Like we're not going to see him go 5 for 5 right off the bat. But I think it's going to be a slow progression. We're going to see Chris Bryant get to that level that we kind of know what he is, right? And I think just being healthy and having a full spring training and a full season is going to benefit him in that perspective, where a guy's not pushing to 60 game season. Like, all right, we got to sprint. We got to try and every situation we got to try and get a run here. You don't have to worry about that, and I think that's going to benefit him a lot.
Yeah, I think in the first game, the most impressive thing that stood out to me that shows that he's seeing the ball well is he got down 0-2 in, I think it was the first inning, right before Jock hit the sac fly. And so he got down 0-2 with runners on second and third, 1 out. And instead of expanding the zone, he took some close pitches and ended up taking 4 straight to walk and obviously bring up Jock, who got the sacrifice flying at the run in. Anytime a hitter goes from 0-2 to draw a walk, especially on 4 straight pitches, especially with guys in scoring position and less than 2 outs, I think that tells you a lot about how comfortable they feel and their judgment of the strike zone. So even though Bryant's batting line, he didn't get a hit and it wasn't great, overall, it was still an offer. I think that was really impressive, and that shows where he's at too. So yeah, I totally think that there's a bounce back coming for him this year.
Did you know that he leads the league in 0-2 to 4-2 at bats?
I mean, I would believe it. How many other guys have that, Kyle?
Oh, I don't know. I just made that up on the spot. I didn't expect a follow-up question.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he winds up with better numbers than Nolan Arenado this year.
Really?
Yeah.
I could totally
write it down.
I could see it too. If you look at Arenado's numbers outside of Coors Field, like still really good numbers. Like, don't get me wrong, but they're like not as high as like the numbers in Colorado. I think it's interesting though. One of the parks that he has the best OPS outside of Coors Field is Busch Stadium. I think he's got like a 800 plus OPS and like I can't remember the exact number of games, but it's very interesting that of all the ballparks outside of Coors Field, one of the better ones is the one he's now going to be playing half of his games in.
Dude loves Busch.
That was well timed. That was perfect.
Yeah,
I was waiting on that one.
So Tony, how long you've been covering the Cubs for? What, 5 years now? 6 years? Is this your 6th season technically?
So I covered my very first game. I covered one in 2011. I wrote a story on Jeff Samardzija and James Russell in the Cubs.
Wait, how fucking old are you?
33.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Jeff Samardzija.
Yeah, he was in the bullpen. He wasn't even starting yet at that point.
So that's more than 5 or 6 years.
Well, yeah, but I only did
Sharks.
a few the first couple of years. I've been covering like every game or whatever for 3 years, like on the full beat. But I was like did 50, 60 games for like 4 years prior to that, or 5. I don't know.
You act like Jeff Samardzija's old.
Yeah.
Let's start talking Cesar Torres, Derek Lee, or Amos Ramirez. As soon as you start throwing those names out there, then maybe we'll start talking about old.
With Victor Caratini, who we brought up, James Russell was traded for Caratini. So I'm older than Caratini played his entire career on the Cubs. I'm old enough to have covered his entire career as a minor leaguer to being traded to the Padres. So I'm that old.
Victor Caratini, former Coug, not a big deal.
He went 2 for 4 yesterday.
Did he?
Yep.
There you go. Guy hits.
I'm playing fantasy baseball this year, first time in a long time. I know things like this now.
Oh, Tony, Andy, funny story. So this year so for the listeners, we're in a fantasy baseball league. This is my second time doing a fantasy baseball league. The first time me and Max co-owned the team, and we fucking just stopped in like May. We're like, we suck. We were just getting torn apart.
Yeah.
But I don't know if my start yesterday was was that good. I drafted Tim Tebow as a joke and then forgot to look at my lineup, so he started for me yesterday.
He's in the utility spot.
Yes, he's in the fucking. It was him and Nico Horner were starting.
I honestly don't have the patience for fantasy baseball. It's every day. It's crazy. I can't do it. Fantasy football at least is like 1 week, set your lineup, all the action happens in one day.
Yeah, I like with fantasy baseball. So I play a ton, but most of the leagues that I do have very few bench spots. So it is like a set it and forget it type thing. Like you don't have to tinker with your lineup. You basically have like one league I'm in, we've only had one bench spot for like 10 years. So you just have your guys and you can pick and drop them if you want. But if you don't feel like setting it, then you just have your 20 guys and just leave it.
And like the one thing about fantasy baseball too is like, even if like you leave a dude who like is off that day, the next day you could go 4 for 4 and it like evens out. So
Yeah.
it's like, you know, it's Tim Tebow starting for one day, I don't think will ruin your season, Kyle.
Yeah, but that was just. I looked at that. I was like, motherfucker. And I'm like, this is very par for the course for me. But like, I was looking at that. I was losing all my bets. They couldn't win a bet yesterday. I bet no score first inning for the Tigers and the Indians. And where I was saying I fucking hate Miguel Cabrera. 2 outs. I think he had 2 strikes on him. He just hits this in the snow, flicks an opposite field 2-run homer. I'm like, you stupid fuck.
It went into like the first row too, I think.
Yeah. He slid into
Shane
second.
Bieber too, right? Wasn't it off Bieber?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, you gotta be in this final score. So it was a 2-run homer. I think the final score was like 3-0. It's like they didn't score
3-2.
after that. 3-2. Yeah.
Cleveland had a
2-run homer in the 9th.
2-run homer in the 9th or something.
Yeah, but and then I bet this. This we can get into that at another time. My losses. What I really wanted to ask you though was what is your I guess both of you guys, what is your favorite moment? I know Andy, you haven't been on the beat as long as Tony, but what's your favorite moment just overall covering the Cubs?
I'll let Tony go first.
Mine's easy. It's the World Series. That there's nothing that's ever going to come close to comparing to that in my professional career, being in Cleveland for the World Series and just that whole run of 2016. I mean, that was what I wanted to do. When I set out to start this career, I always wanted to cover the first Cubs team that won a World Series and ended the drought. And all through college, I was like, crossing my fingers. Like I grew up a Cubs fan, but I was hoping that they wouldn't win because I wanted to be there to like cover the team. And then, as I shortly after I started and graduated college, like that's when Theo and Jed and stuff came over. So yeah, nothing will ever stack up to November 2nd of 16.
Andy?
I should have gone first because like how am I supposed to follow? I don't know. Yeah.
Eating your helmet nachos at Sloan Park.
Yeah, exactly. The helmet nachos.
Getting
at Sloan Park was
electrocuted.
pretty good. Yeah. Yesterday, I will say opening day was sweet. I think like a year, like last year was so weird without the fans. Like you could hear every F-bomb. You could hear everything when you were at Wrigley. This year, like 10,000 people. Tony, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but 10,000 people felt like nearly a full house, especially like around the national anthem, first pitch. Like I think the first pitch was a ball and everyone was booing because they wanted to strike. Yesterday was really, really cool for sure. I think that just given the circumstances for sure, ranks up there for me.
Were they booing louder for the first pitch or Lori Lightfoot?
I think they were booing louder for the mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they didn't show that on the broadcast. They didn't show Lori. And maybe they did. Maybe I just fucking missed it like an idiot. But I don't know if they showed her. She was getting booed loud.
It was pretty loud. Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised she was honestly getting booed at all. I wasn't really expecting that, but people just boo politicians all the time at sporting events, right?
Yeah, it's like, it doesn't matter who you're there or who like you are. If you're a politician, you're just no matter what you're getting booed.
Right.
Yeah.
Did anyone sing the anthem or was it the Harry Carey video?
Whoa! You didn't hear John Vincent's pipes?
No, I was working.
Who wasn't?
He went like 22 seconds. He held Home of the Brave The note that
Oh, the
he went
free.
like 22 or 23. Yeah, landed whatever. Yeah, he went 23 seconds, 22 seconds, something like that.
Oh, that would have been a good prop for you. To be the over under on how long
Yeah.
you held that note.
Kyle had the opposite of whatever it was.
Whatever hit, I had the opposite. Yeah, bait Kyle season.
All right. I got a couple good ones. Let's go rapid fire over unders.
Yes,
And let's
that's what I
have
was going
Tony
for.
and Andy answer at the same time, and we'll see if there's any differences.
All right.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with home runs. Anthony Rizzo, 30.5.
I'm gonna say over.
I'm gonna go over 2.
Okay. I like that.
That's a good choice.
Chris Bryant, 24.5.
Homers?
Yeah.
Over, yeah, for sure.
Definitely over. I think
I
that's
mean,
more
he's in
likely than the Rizzo one, honestly.
Yeah, that seems really low. If Brian is healthy all year, I would be stunned if he doesn't hit more than 24 homer or 25 homers.
Agreed.
Okay.
All right, back to the high Sox. Jock Peterson, 33.5.
I'm going over.
I might say under. I think he's gonna have a great season, but I don't know for sure that he's gonna hit 34 homers. I guess we'll see. I mean, he obviously would have to stay healthy and hit well against lefties too.
Right.
I'm going over. I have to look up the numbers again, but like something ridiculous, like
Just make them up.
all but like 5 of the starters in the NL Central are lefty or are righties. Excuse me. He mashes against righties. Like,
Oh yeah, we talked
so
about that
many
last time, right? Yeah, there's like
there's so many
400
hitter.
that are lefties.
Yeah, exactly. He's hitter friendly parks at Wrigley, Great American Ballpark. Like I think he's got the potential to hit a lot of homers for sure.
You guys are the experts, but full disclaimer to the listeners, I'll be hammering all the overs on these.
Max will be hammering all of these.
All right, Javi, 28.5.
Over.
I'll go over for the Spirit, but that one's probably the closest one, I think.
Yeah,
Has Javi ever hit 30?
he has. He had 34.
What year?
18.
Yeah, 18.
Was 2019 the one he got? Yeah, because he got hurt in August and then Nico came up.
And I think he had 28 the year before that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so he would have had over. I mean, he got over that and playing only 140 games in 5 months or whatever. So I think, assuming he stays healthy, same thing.
I really think him and KB are going to return to form this year. All right, Willie, 21.5.
Over.
It's an odd year.
I'm gonna go under on that one, I think.
I looked up. I mentioned this stat. I think maybe when Andy was on the show last, but in odd years, Wilson Contreras hits 270 plus, and he has 20 plus home runs.
Yeah, no,
So-
that's over.
Over.
I think he's gonna be. He's gonna get some MVP votes this year.
I don't hate that.
I like him in that 2-hole. All right, Ian Happ, 25.5.
I'm gonna go over just because I think he's gonna get the at bats, the number of at bats to come close.
Yeah, I'll take over too for same reason. I think last year he would have been on pace for something like about 30, 31 homers. And that even included like get a hit in the eye and kind of slowing down a bit in September. So I could see him going over that for sure.
Okay. Jason Hayward, 6. No, I'm just kidding. 14
I was
and a
like,
half.
I was like,
The
give me
over
that
under
over.
for Hayward should be ground balls.
Yeah, 4-3 putouts, 170. No, what's his over under? It's 14 and a half.
Yeah.
I don't know. It honestly, that's difficult for me because he hit over 20. I think he had 21 in the juice ball year in 19. So I don't know for sure how the ball is now. I guess the Miggy home run kind of makes you think like maybe it's juice ball. I don't know.
Yeah, fuck
We'll
you,
see.
Mickey.
If it's I just saw that swing and it was like he knew it as soon as he hit it, but I don't know. I just didn't like of all the homers he's hit, I didn't think that was his best swing. Yeah, I don't know. Depending on the ball, I think Hayward certainly can get over that, over 14 and a half.
I'm hammering the over too.
Yeah. The average exit velo on those grounders has to be like 115 miles an hour, by the way. So we love
And
you,
the
Jason.
and the average distance is 6 feet.
All right,
No, it's
Nico
good.
Horner, 80 games this season
Started
started.
Under.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under 2.
under 80 games started. Do you think he'll appear in 80 games?
Yes.
Yeah.
When do you guys think he gets the call?
June.
Exactly 3 weeks in.
No, June 9th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometime around
Yeah.
June.
June
That
9th.
just, that just seems like such a long wait to me.
It's a nice day.
Well, so here's my stance on it. If they sent him down at all, unless there's an injury and they need to call him up, like they absolutely need him. What's the point of just sending him down to go to the alternate site to take at bats off of like Cubs players and pitchers?
Mhm.
You want him to go into AAA and be playing every day, and I figure like you want him to be playing every day for about a month. Which, if the season doesn't start till May 4th, like they're planning, then yeah, sometime in the first week of June, you probably bring him up. He got a month of full everyday playing time in AAA with that swing after the alternate site. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Are they? I mean, I know they're playing some games. Are they playing routinely at the alternate site right now, or
It's just going to be like last year. There's going to be a lot of
inter squad?
VPs and a lot of like simulated games with like Shelby Miller will be down there. So that'll be interesting to see. Like, I don't know if we get footage of it, but like Nico facing Shelby Miller would be kind of cool.
So then last over under here, 79.5 wins.
Oh, that's not like
Over.
That's a goddamn
yeah.
crime.
Like
Let's say
there
90.
has to be so many injuries
90 and a
for
half.
that to happen.
90 and a half. I don't know.
I'd
probably
probably take the under there.
Yeah, somewhere in between 79 and a half and 90 and a half.
89.
If
No,
they're in the
90.
80s, I'll be very happy with that this year.
What do you think wins the division? How many wins?
I think 85, 86 range would win it because I think the three teams, the Cardinals, Brewers, and Cubs, are all going to be right there. And then the Reds will probably be like close to 500. So they'll kind of beat up on each other like they did last year.
And then the Pirates are going to have like 58 wins this year. 58
If
and 105.
that. Well, I mean, so far they're in first place, but
They got one. Yeah.
2 days in,
exactly.
they're undefeated. Them and the Orioles.
yeah.
That's true.
Well, guys, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. Now you're both recurring guests. Andy, you got to come on again. Every third episode now, Andy's coming on.
Yep.
So which Bears legend is following us up this week? I mean, last time it was Jim McMahon.
We got Jay Cutler coming next week. We forgot to mention.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, we
Richard
had
Depp the
Jim
week
McMahon.
after.
Last time Andy was on, we had Jim McMahon and Max. Max like, yeah, Andy, we have a slightly bigger guest than you.
I was like, yeah. By the way, be sure to listen next week. We got Jim McMahon coming on.
Right in Andy's face. He's like, all right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
right.
thanks.
Yeah, well.